Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Naylo's Thrift Talk. I'm Lola.
And I'm Nay.
And we are a little delayed today, so thank you to everyone who's hanging out in the chat. And it was cool to see you guys getting to know everyone while we were a little delayed due to some life commitments.
Yeah, sorry, I had an appointment and it just ran way past what I thought.
But we're here, and we have a really cool show today, another one of Nay's famous deep dives. And today it is all about artist Keith Haring. So, Nay, do you want to give a little intro to what you'll be talking about today?
Yes. So we are going to be talking about Keith Haring that's, you have the wrong art there, but that's okay.
Oh, shoot, sorry.
It's okay. Here, I'll pull up the right one. Okay. So Keith Haring is he was an artist he was pretty amazing. He got started in street art and some really interesting facts about his life. I'll go into that just a little bit. And then I'm going to talk about some bolos. There are so many Keith Haring bolos. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really excited to talk about him today. I learned a lot, and I actually got stuck down the rabbit hole again at 2 a.m. last night. I was watching Keith Haring documentaries on YouTube. So thank you, Heather.
Cool. So maybe
my earrings. I'll talk about them in a minute. So.
Yeah, so it sounds like there's even, if this piques your interest, there's even more to learn about him elsewhere on YouTube, and you could go deeper.
Oh, there's so much. Yeah, he really was interesting, and he did a lot of things at the time that were very, very bold, and he did a lot of great advocacy, and that still carries through in his art today.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. And if you're new to our channel, we are a weekly show on Fridays, all about thrifting and reselling and buying things secondhand as a way to create a more sustainable lifestyle. And next week, we will talk a little bit about work from home fashion. So now that we are several months into the pandemic here in the US, I think we're already starting to see things that are maybe permanent changes, people really changing parts of their lifestyle, the way they dress, because the way they work is different. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of research on some of the statistics that different clothing companies have released about how their sales have changed and what we can glean from that going into the fall and the winter, where people are wearing, maybe more cozy sweaters and sweatpants and things like that, and how we can expect to see the resale market changing based on people's lifestyle changes. So
yes,
that will be next week at our usual time, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific.
Yes. So back to our usual time. Today was just an exception because I had an appointment right at 1:30,
and we have a couple traditional segments. So the first of them is, Nadine, what are you wearing this week that's thrifted?
I am wearing
very cool stuff. I'm really excited to hear.
Yeah. So I have these. If you can see them, I'll zoom in here. Actually, I'll take one off and I'll.
Oh, good idea. Those are so cool. I know you told me you were getting a Keith Haring t-shirt, but you did not mention the earrings.
No, I didn't. These are a surprise. They're huge. You can see the Keith Haring art on them.
Oh, great.
And they are I got them, I bought them on eBay. And they were very reasonable. They were under $20 with shipping.
Are they vintage or are they more recent?
No, they're more recent. They're and they should be licensed, but I'm not 100% sure that they are. But they are definitely, they're advertised as Keith, and now I can't get the earring back on.
Was there a brand on them, or was it just?
No, they were just listed as Keith Haring pop art earrings, and they're plastic. But they're definitely like the real deal in his art. But I paid about $20 like with chip, so really not. But a lot of his items really, you can get reasonably priced items, and that I'll talk about why. And then I also got this on eBay. I sourced this for our ship. There you go. You can see it. I'm sorry. See?
That's so cute.
Yeah, so that is.
Was that a DIY? Did someone?
No, actually, I did some research. So it is a Keith Haring licensed shirt, and it actually was at one time, believe it or not, sold at Target.
Oh, I did not know that any of his stuff is at Target. I know I've seen
They
it like
did have apparently they had Keith Haring, and it is, like I said, it is licensed Keith Haring on the tag, on the label. I'm not sure exactly when it was, but it was, and I paid very little on eBay. I actually got it at auction. I won the auction for like $5. So,
oh wow.
and then it was like $3 shipping. So again, I paid like less than $10 for this lovely t-shirt, and I actually it's really soft and it fits great, and so.
Very cool. So now after this episode, you'll always have an awesome Keith Haring outfit.
Yeah, I'm actually excited. Like, I will definitely wear this. And then also I got this from Shop Goodwill, this cuff bracelet, and it kind of reminded me of Keith Haring's art in a way, you know, because he does a lot of the
like the repeated geometric.
Yeah, so that was kind of an ode to Keith. But this I actually got on Shop Goodwill. I've been doing a lot of auctions on there, and what I'll do is I'll bundle items together from the same seller so that I don't have to pay a lot on shipping. And I think I won this cuff bracelet for $6.99. So
not bad.
Yeah, really not.
So I started pulling out my fall clothes because for the first time it's starting to feel a little bit like fall New England.
Really?
Yes, already. I'm so thankful because we have had a brutal summer. It's been either 95 degrees or just like downpouring rain all the time. So there's never been that like nice 70, 80 degree sunny day like at all this summer. And so I was just waiting for it to start getting crisp again and maybe nice enough to go for a walk. And so as soon as it started to hit like 60 degrees, I pulled out my flannel. So this is one of the many men's flannel shirts that I thrifted when I moved back to Massachusetts. And I remember going into Goodwill and there was just like this bonanza in the men's like button-down shirt aisle of all of these great like LL Bean and amazing, you know, like real wool. I think I found one that was Pendleton. This one is not, I forget the brand on this one, but it is like 100% wool. I think it's from the 70s. I remember early 80s. I looked up.
Nice.
It's definitely vintage. This was one that I was planning to sell. So I'll be listing this soon, getting my fall inventory up that I've been hoarding, hopefully. But I did want to give it a spin, and yeah, it's nice. No mothballs. It's a great score. And Heather says it's 92 degrees in North Carolina. That is why I do not live in the South, because I cannot handle the heat.
It's actually Lola. It's hot here. It's really hot here. Yeah, I'm surprised because we're
so
that much further south of you, but
we usually have pretty
darn hot and muggy and sticky here. Yeah, it is not flannel.
It is beautiful. I can feel it is the window open instead of the AC on for the first time.
Probably like 80 in the 80s with high humidity. So
wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm definitely relishing this weather then.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Hopefully we'll send it south to you soon. And our second weekly segment, what is your home decor of the week?
Yes. So my thrifted home decor item, which I just grabbed, is actually this this vase that goes with my home decor.
Oh,
it was marked Italy on the bottom. It's got a sticker and it looks like it's like a swirl logo with Italy on it. So I'm not sure you can't really see it there. But
is that Paddington?
Yes. Paddington. Okay, so anyway, but it's a big glass vase that just I kind of have like pops of yellow in my decor, so that is, and I thrifted it at Goodwill.
Pop of yellow, that is such a nice color.
Yeah, so it kind of goes with my pillows, have like a little yellow and stuff. So it was $1.99, I think, at Goodwill. So
not bad.
Yeah.
Heather says, please send cool weather. I will do my best. So I did not have anything Keith Haring to wear, but I do have a Keith Haring item that is part of my daily life. So I actually got this on Mercari. I decided I wanted to try a Clarisonic like face cleaner, which I actually don't use anymore. But I wanted to try one and get one for cheap because I didn't know if I'd use it or not. And then I found this one on Mercari, and it was actually an incredible deal. And to sweeten it, it had this amazing Keith Haring bag. So this is one of my like usual just makeup bags now. It's a really nice size, and it has the prettiest Keith Haring pattern on the inside as well. So the funny thing,
love it. And that is one of his iconic images.
This was the only part that had any of his art on it. So like the rest of the Clarisonic, like little handheld thing is just plain white. It's boring. But this was worth all of it. And I think I maybe paid like $20 for the whole set. So I wouldn't have paid $20 for this alone, but it was a great deal when you add it all together. And I love this bag. So
very cool.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to do a little bit. I've talked about this last couple of weeks, and I am doing a special offer for packages for online sellers. I have 3 price points there, and they are very, very, very economical when you think about the time that I put into it and the fact that I am a professional schooled graphic designer. That is what I did 9 to 5 for many years, and I still do freelance. So if you're interested, you can definitely go to my Facebook page, which is at N Shearstone Designs or NS Designs, and like my page. I would love to have more likes, and you can comment on there. There's an email address. You can email me, you can message me, I'm all over the place. So you can find me if you're interested. I will also give you a discount on a second package. Like if you want an eBay store design, and then you want to also brand your Etsy store. Oh my gosh. I can definitely do that for you for a 25% discount. And stay tuned, because Jason and I are going to be teaming up with some StreamYard packages too.
Ooh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So I'd like to actually start doing the paid subscription with ours. And so if you're a YouTuber and you do StreamYard, I can do cool overlays and everything. And Jason has been doing some awesome videos for his channel. So check out his channel, Thrifty Business. And you can see what I've done last week. He just updated the animations and I did the overlays. So we'll be talking. So stay tuned for more information on that. And
we've been talking about upgrading our subscription, and I definitely, the more I see about what you can do with it, definitely
it's very cool.
So that'll probably happen soon here too.
Yes. He is going to be a pain. It never fails when I don't have the kids here. He is my other child. Maybe you can see his face now.
I think I can switch it.
But anyway, there he is.
Hi, bud.
Yeah, he's
so handsome.
Very whiny today. Okay, so let's get started on Keith Haring. So this is Keith Haring here. No, so Keith Haring was born Keith Allen Haring. He was born in 1958, and he died sadly on February 16th, 1990. So he was only 31 years old when he passed away of age-related complications. Very, very sad. He probably still would have been alive today, making amazing art, and but his legacy lives on. So his pop art and graffiti-like work grew out of New York City street culture of the 80s. So he became interested in art at a very young age. His dad was kind of an amateur cartoon artist, and not schooled, but he had talent. And his influences were Disney and Peanuts, Charles Schulz and Warner Brothers cartoons. Like he loved cartoon drawings, and he started that. Actually, I found online some of his early, when he was a kid, and even his childhood art was, kind of echoed the same theme. So very cool. He was also very openly gay, and he did a lot for the LGBTQ community, and his legacy kind of lives on in the community today. And he also sadly was diagnosed with AIDS in 1988. And unfortunately back then, we knew much less about the disease. They did not have the retroviral drugs like they have now to keep. I mean, now people that are diagnosed with HIV can prevent, getting, full-blown AIDS, and they can live an almost normal life expectancy. But back then it just wasn't that way, because the antiretroviral drugs really didn't come into play until 1996, and he passed away in 1990, sadly. So, but he was very big in advocacy for AIDS, and ironically also for, safe sex campaigns. And, so it is sad that he actually ended up with the disease, because he really did live a pretty decent lifestyle. He was pretty healthy, and, so it is really sad. So he was raised kind of near me and near Philly in Kutztown, Pennsylvania. And he moved to New York City in 1978 to study painting at the School of Visual Arts. So his art really started with billboards, and he would just do street art, graffiti. This one can be seen from the FDR Drive in New York City, and it is still there today. They did have to repaint. It got vandalized a couple times, but they've renovated it and whatnot, so restored it. So this is the kind of stuff that he would do. So he actually started out though doing, and this was in 1986. He did this because the crack epidemic really became big, and this was to say, you're going to die from it. Crack is whack. It's so he was very, very, a lot of great public messages. This was his street art in the subways. He started as a subway artist. He actually got arrested for graffitiing in the subways. So he would take the blank. When there was no advertisement there, he would take the blank. It was just black paper, and he would do chalk drawings. And the drawings took him just a couple minutes each. It was amazing. Like I saw a video of him doing them, and very quick. And he would move on, but he got arrested for vandalization a couple times. Handcuffed, arrested, taken away. And now these street drawings are going for thousands. These subway drawings. So it's really ironic that he was, but. The New York subways were very, very much alive with his art back then. And a lot of them did have, he tried to speak with his art. These iconic images were kind of, a vocabulary. So very interesting, in that respect. And he did a lot of stylized images, dogs, things like that. A lot of people, a lot of the Buddy logo, if you know what that is. I'll get into that in a minute. A lot of larger scale works, murals, and he actually created more than 50 public works between 1982 and 1989 in dozens of cities around the world. So he actually painted the Berlin Wall before it went down. He actually did paint, and on the other side, the East Germans, they were looking over at him, like all suspicious, like what is he doing, And then when they saw that he was kind of like putting this message of peace up there, they just kind of walked away and let him do his thing.
Does that still survive, or was it destroyed?
I am not sure if they actually saved that piece or what.
I mean, there are a lot of people who painted the Berlin Wall, but
he was actually, he did over a 3-day period. He said that it rained, so he only had a few hours a day to actually, get his work done. It was really interesting, but beautiful work on the Berlin Wall. So he painted all over the world. He did get to travel in his short life a lot. And he often addressed political and social themes. This silence equals death. This is fight AIDS and act up. Ignorance equals fear. So this is, he did a lot of AIDS campaigning work, especially after he was only diagnosed in 1988. And he died in 1990. So he only knew for 2 years that he had the disease, sadly. But he did a lot of activism. This was done in 1989. And his foundation still lives on today. And he also did and there were a lot of more risque images that if you Google, you can find them. This is one of the kind of more
tame, yeah.
Yes, this is one of the more tame ones. There are some that I could not show you because, but so really not. But this is the kind of thing that he did, and he was very graphic about it, very straightforward about it, and but ironically, he did still contract the virus very sadly. So there was there's a lot of BOLOs here. There was a pop shop that opened up in 1986 on Lafayette Street in New York City. And his whole idea with the pop shop was to make his work accessible to all people. And some people, accused him of selling out, but he was actually, his idea was he wanted to make his art accessible to everyone, just kind of like he did it around the city so everyone could see it. He wanted everyone to be able to purchase things. And so his art, even his original art in the pop shop was very affordable. And there were a lot of t-shirts, but now a lot of those items go for a lot. I will show you some of them. The pop shop is no longer there. However, there is still a shop online. So you can still purchase items online. And then later he opened a pop shop in Tokyo.
Cool.
Yeah, really cool. And if you want to read about this, of course, you can. This is one of his iconic images too. The crawling baby kind of symbolizes the beginning of life, and there's a little bit about it. So he was also friends with Jean-Michel Basquiat. He was another artist, another street artist, and he also passed away sadly of a drug overdose before Keith Haring died in the 80s. But there some of his items were there too. He had his but anyway, that was all about the pop shop, and you'll see, I'll show you when I go through some of the BOLOs. Really interesting. So he was in 2014, he was one of the inaugural honorees of the Rainbow Honor Walk, a walk of fame in San Francisco's Castro neighborhood. And noting LGBTQ community people who have made significant contributions in their field. So posthumously, he has really, achieved a lot, and in June 2019, he was one of the inaugural 50 American pioneers, trailblazers, and heroes inducted in the LGBTQ Wall of Honor with the Stonewall within the Stonewall National Monument in New York City's Stonewall Inn. So if you've heard of the Stonewall riots, the Stonewall, that was a big pivotal point in LGBTQ history, and he was instrumental in that. And they have his legacy is honored there too. So he also established in 1989, before he passed away, he established the Keith Haring Foundation to provide funding and imagery to AIDS organizations and children's programs. And that is still alive today. So he also, interestingly, if you remember our show with Betsy Johnson, I talked about Andy Warhol. Mm-hmm. Well, he was also friends with Andy Warhol. And he hung out with Andy at the factory. And there is Keith and Andy.
Oh, cool.
And he was also friends with Madonna, and he would actually do these, he would actually, like, newspapers, advertisements, like he would actually silk screen the front page, to kind of, they were all up in an uproar about Madonna's nude pictures, and he was like, saying, so what, and so Paddington, stop. So yeah, so really cool. He was personal friends with Andy Warhol too, and he also did which is a very famous image, and there are some big BOLOs. He did the Andy Mouse, and this was Andy Warhol, obviously Disney inspired, but the Andy Mouse artwork is also this image can be found on things, and this is also worth a lot. So, and that was inspired by his friendship with Andy Warhol. And here is one of the BOLOs from that. The 360 Toy Group has this Andy Mouse figurine.
Wow.
And you can see that goes for $180.
That's so great, because I mean that's a lot of money, but it's also fairly affordable for
exactly
an actual work of art.
Yeah, so you can see Paddington, please come here. My dog is hanging in the butt. So yeah, so really interesting. And then he was also friends with Madonna, and you can see he Paddington. Sorry, he's being such a child. So there he is with Madonna, and Madonna's all dressed in Keith Haring. She did actually on one of her tours and in her videos, she would use Keith Haring art backdrops. She would wear Keith Haring outfits. There she is, all decked in Keith Haring.
That's such a good color.
They were very good friends. Yes, Madonna and Keith Haring were very good friends. And he also did, and this is a very famous thing, the Best Buddies logo. So Best Buddies is an organization for developmentally and mentally impaired people to have, to pair up with a best buddy that they can, they can kind of do things with and
like
what
mentorship sort of.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
I remember that the Best Buddies organization at my high school was really active, and I'm pretty sure that was the first time I ever encountered his art. So I was telling you that, like, when I was then like studying art history and I started encountering some of his more risque, he has a lot of phallic imagery, I'll say, and overtly phallic.
The Best Buddy. Yeah.
And I would like, it blew my mind. I was like, this is the same artist. It's incredible.
Yeah. So there's
very distinctive style, but diverse in content, I would say.
Yes, definitely. So this dog is killing me. So anyway, so there you can see that's the logo, and then this was a prototype for a Best Buddies watch that he made.
Oh, cool.
And then there is his that's the letter from Keith Haring, you know, saying what they could do with his logo, and he did donate the logo. He didn't charge them for it or anything. He did that all for free, and you can see his letterhead with the radiant baby there, so cute. So Best Buddy items are also a BOLO. There are some patches and whatnot. This is an actual screen print from 1990. Went for this is on a gallery site, so $42,500. So if you can find original art, and it is out there more plentiful than other artists because of the fact that he did do original art for his pop shop, and you know he did a lot of obtainable art for people, you know, at the time. So it is out there. It is obviously worth a lot more.
But it's like maybe more in the realm of possibility that you would stumble upon one of his at a thrift store than some other artists. Can't imagine it's common, but it's not impossible.
It is, yes. So there's another very famous image. The dog is 20,000 to 30,000. That's euros, but you know that's you know some of his original artwork it goes for quite a bit. So here's one that's sold on eBay. You know, we're going to talk about fine gallery, you know, original art, $3,500. I mean, that's not too bad. You can own an original hand drawing for, you know, that's obtainable for considering, you know, in art terms. And I would imagine that these things will, you know, as time goes on, they'll become more valuable. So if you want to invest in some art, you know,
yeah,
it's a good opportunity. So fashion is also kind of ties in with fashion. There's so many collaborations. There's so many Keith Haring collaborations, and Grace Jones. So he took a photo documenting the singer Grace Jones standing with her arm out. He did a collaboration with a dance collaboration with Grace Jones, and he worked he actually covered her whole body with graffiti and all, and that kind of started like the whole him with the fashion movement. And today he has many collaborations. So Coach is a big one. This is some of the Coach. Alice and Olivia is another big huge one, and I'll show you some of those BOLOs. There's an Alice and Olivia. That sweater actually goes for quite a bit.
Oh, wow. I didn't know they did it.
And a lot of these items, like the Coach, the Alice and Olivia, a lot of them, there was a Lacoste collaboration. There's just so many. A lot of them sell well on Poshmark, especially the Coach bags. So it depends on what platform. Some are good on Depop, and I'll go through those a little bit. That's also Alice and Olivia. Uniqlo has a collaboration as well. He has done collaborations with so many different fashion designers too. So, it's interesting how, you know, his work actually ties into fashion too, the fashion world. So,
Heather has a great question. When did he become more accepted as an artist as opposed to a graffiti artist?
I would say probably around the 1985, 1980. Well, maybe, you know, he was actually, I think it was more of like the Andy Warhol influence around 1983 was when they really hooked up and became friends. So it was in the early 80s. I mean, he was in school in 78, and he was still kind of, you know, then he was still considered like a hoodlum when he was, you know, doing his graffiti. So the early 80s, I would say, you know, by 1983, he was considered pretty darn serious. I saw a documentary on a New York news station last night, and it was from the early 80s, and they were talking about him, like this up and coming artist named Keith Haring, and you know how he had been arrested, and they were saying, is it art or is it vandalism? You know, it was really funny. But so if you go through, this is just you know, just a Google search of some of the different collaborations that he's done. And there's just so many. It's insane. I think this is probably he is probably one of the artists that has had the most collabs ever. Tom's, G-Shock, Swatch. The Swatch ones are big. Skate Room, there's some skateboards. Coach is a big one. Uniqlo has a lot. Even Forever 21 did a collab. And if you find some of these, like the Uniqlo and the Forever 21 don't go for as much, but they are still good bread and butter items and they will always sell. So, you know, and you can still make money on them. Adidas, there's an Adidas sneaker there. Just this looks like my earrings here, the Wago, Keith Haring Wago collaboration. So lots and lots and lots of great collabs. So if you do a search for Keith Haring X, which is the symbol for, you know, collaboration, in Google, you can come up with so many. And the swatches are huge BOLO. I will show you some of those. If you ever find a Keith Haring swatch, you have stumbled into some big money. So I wish I could go back to the 80s and just go to the Macy's counter and buy a Keith Haring swatch. And I had those watches in the 80s. I probably, you know, saw them, you know, but they are considered like holy grail items today. So, you know, just so many, a Bathing Ape. Yeah, this is kind of like this is Target. So this is kind of like my, that's kind of like my shirt now. So yeah. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, they still have that on the website. Interesting. So I'm going to go through some of the BOLOs. So this is actually, he did an iconic Christmas album cover. You've probably all seen this. The baby Jesus with, you know, the I guess it's supposed to be the Virgin Mary cradling baby Jesus. And that was a very iconic. Well, Run DMC did a Christmas album called Christmas in Hollis. And not all of the albums there's actually a CD that does not have the cover, but the album with the cover is actually worth a decent amount. This one went for $50. I've seen some go for more and some go for less. So I'm not sure if it depends on the you know, what the person is asking for, or, you know, the actual quality of the cover art. But you can see that's definitely, so when you're going through the record section, look for that. And this is a long box version of that very special Christmas CD. So the very special Christmas CD itself doesn't go for a whole lot, but you know, maybe $10 or so, but you know, it's still worth it. It has Madonna on it. And it was all a tribute to, it was a tribute to the Special Olympics. So all of the proceeds went to the Special Olympics. So that was, yeah. And that was why it's called a very special Christmas, you know. So but this was the long box one that went for, what did that go for? $120. So, you know, not bad for, you know, for a CD. So if you're gonna, and then there's a lot of other things. So this is a 2019 collection Barbie, Keith Haring Barbie, and this goes for 50, what is it, $50, I think, $60. And this was just from 2019. So I would assume that this is going to go up in value, you know, because it's just a year old, as, you know, the demand increases. So this is right now, this Barbie is about $60. And I'm sure it was, you know, it wasn't $60 to begin with. So, but she's really cute. You know, she's all dressed in Keith Haring. Yeah. So there is a Funko Pop figurine, which I might actually get one of these. They're really not worth much. This one sold for $14. There, you know, maybe they'll go up in value. The whole Funko Pop craze has kind of died down a little, but it's so cute. It's a Keith Haring Funko Pop. Cute. Yeah, super cute. There's Keith. I actually want one. So
that is so cute.
Yeah. And
did they have other artists too? You could have like Andy Warhol and Keith Haring and like a couple of them just hanging out on your desk.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't that be fun? Yes, yes. So there's a Keith Haring scented candle that goes for $45. There's a whole series of these. So you might find one of these, you know, and here is so this is a catalog from his 1982 exhibition. And this is one of his first like big gallery exhibitions. And this goes now this is just a booklet from the gallery. It goes for $1,225 or more on eBay. So you might be in the book section and just stumble upon this book that they misplaced and they didn't know what it was. You never know. So
it's always fun to look through these listings too, because then you get a glimpse into what was in the book. Yeah. So
this was he actually did some Brooke Shields did some work with his art, and this is a poster from 1985, and it actually is signed by Brooke Shields, and that went for $1,200. So I think even if it wasn't signed though, it would still go for quite a bit. But the fact that it was signed,
that's an interesting collab too, because then it was photographed by Richard Avedon, who is also
that's true. Yes, So, and then this is actually one of his original subway drawings that was pulled down. So this is, you can see the old ad that was on the back. It's still kind of adhered to the back of it. So yeah, really interesting. So he did these were like black paper was kind of put over the blank subway, like the blank ad spaces when there wasn't an ad that was actually being used in the spots, and he would just do chalk drawings. This is one of the ones that he did. This was an original, and there's actually quite a bit of them because he did them, so many of them around the city, so many. So they go for right now, and this is actually for an original Keith Haring, $8,455. So,
and it's amazing that someone just sold that on eBay. I feel like if I had one of those, I'd probably want to go through a gallery, but.
Well, this is actually, I believe this is a gallery it's a gallery or a collector that's selling them. They have a whole bunch of them that they've sold for around the same amount. So, but it is really interesting that, he goes arrested for this back in the day. They considered this vandalism, and now his vandalism is, going for, so really, really crazy. And, so that's just nuts that. There's another piece of original art. This went for $7,500.
That's a little bit of a keyword spamming in the title. I would not do that.
It is because, drawing a friend about, because they're using, it's Keith Haring, and it is signed by Keith Haring in 1987 on the back, you can see. But because he was friends with Warhol and Basquiat, that is, but that was his little friendship crew there. So, and they really didn't need a keyword spam. So this is another one. Bear Brick has done a collab, and these are actually worth quite a bit. $1,500. You can see it is signed on the back. So these are, these, if you ever find one of these, goes for quite a bit. And here is the swatches. So this Keith Haring swatch, this is one of the more this is one of the more popular designs. This one goes for about $475. Some of them go for more though.
Oh.
Some of them go, So I actually recently saw on Shop Goodwill, it was a different version, but there was a swatch watch, Keith Haring swatch watch, and I think it went for about $800 on Shop Goodwill. I was looking at the auction. I was actually going to bid on it, but once it got, past, I was like, okay, I'm out.
It always amazes me how high some of those Shop Goodwill auctions go.
It's crazy.
But other people who are on this site right now are also like nerding out about this one specific watch. But apparently enough people, I guess, to bid it up. So
so Jason says, I'm just going to go back to, he says the gold disc version is worth a lot too. I guess that's for the very special Christmas CD that I'm talking about. So that's good to know.
That's good info.
Yeah, so this swatch goes for, this is one of the big ones, $1,557.99. This one went for. This one is actually one of the more rare ones. So if you ever are looking, it could be in, the baggies on the wall. There could be a watch bag, and it could just be in there, and they don't know what it is. And there you go. You have this $1,500 there. So you never know. So, so definitely look for the swatches. And then one of the other watches is the G-Shock. He did a line for G-Shock.
Oh, I remember those.
See, there's their digital watches. So these don't go for as much. This one went for $138, and they're basically like within the 100 to 200s. Most, so they go for less than swatches, but still, again, if you find this, at a garage sale and in one of the baggies at a flip, and you can, I mean, $138 if you pay a couple bucks for it, you never know. So, definitely something to look for. And as a collector too, you might want to keep an eye out for these. And then this is a skateboard collab he did. This is Skate Room. Skate Room did a few designs on their skateboards, and this is actually these are hanging art decks. This is the whole pack of them, and this went for $810. So if you find any of these ever, you never know. It could be in the toy section again. It's actually Coach did a very, very rare wooden skateboard deck.
Wow.
Keith Haring, that one it was like a promo one, and that one went for, I think, over $1,000, but you never know, things happen.
It's one of those things I would have never guessed in a million years that Coach had ever made a skateboard.
So this is from 1988. This is an actual t-shirt from 88. So you want to look for the vintage t-shirts, the vintage Keith Haring t-shirts, as opposed to the modern ones like the Uniqlo, the Target.
Right.
Still make a profit on the modern ones, and they're still cool to wear and to own. Like, I love this t-shirt, but boy, this one, I would love to have a vintage 88 one. So this was on Depop, and some of the vintage t-shirts are really, Depop is the avenue to go for those.
You already have that, like the vintage t-shirt connoisseur.
Yep.
Especially something like this where it's promoting National Coming Out Day. There's, a pretty good like LGBT population, people who really celebrate the LGBT history on Depop, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they promote it too. I know during June, they always do a bunch of different spotlights, and we've talked about that before on our LGBT episode. Yep. So yeah, that's definitely the ideal platform for something like this.
Yeah, so definitely. So this was for National Coming Out Day. This was from 90, and you can see there's the label there, and so this single stitch, and $164.99, still a reasonable price for, if you want to own a piece of Keith Haring history, you can obtain it. But boy, if you find one of those in the thrift stores, you've got a nice chunk of change there. And I would recommend Etsy is another platform to list some items on. So this is a Keith Haring flip book, and this went for $40, and this was from 1996. So after he died, but
fun.
Yeah, so it is so cute. So yeah, you can see it is so cute. So so even in the book section, look, this is, and a lot of these items are, again, they were printed and made after he passed away, but his legacy lives on in his art, and $40 for a little book. I could see that sitting in the kids' books, for $1.
I think on the back of it had the original price was like $4 or something.
So $4.50, yeah. So yeah. So for $40, I'll take, and some of these vintage items do well at Etsy. Mm-hmm. So this is one of the Pops, the original. This is also from Etsy. This is one of the Pop Shop original t-shirts. So
wow, that's already only $27. That seems like a steal.
This is actually, it a
repro?
It's a repro because it's actually Spritz, New York. It's the Uniqlo. So
that is cool that they
so Uniqlo did bring back some of the original, like they did some repros. So you can still own some cool design. Uniqlo has some really amazing ones, and so definitely look out for those. But this was an original. It would sell for a lot more. Now they said vintage 90s. Now this is a 90s repro, so this was misleading. This is not an actual 90s. The art is vintage 90s, but not the actual. Actually, the art would be like vintage 80s, but at any rate, that still $27. So the Uniqlo items, even the repro items, and I think it's so cute. They have masks now. I actually I'd love to have a Keith Haring.
That's a good idea.
So cute. So
that's probably not super legit, though. I doubt. Is that not licensed?
There's a lot of sketchy items on Etsy, like with people using.
Okay, yeah.
A
lot of these items are licensed. They are legit.
Yes.
It gets money
So
from it.
this is an original Pop Shop t-shirt, which is awesome. This is on Depop, and this $320. And
that's more what I would have guessed. Yeah. And that's still a steal for
Yeah, so this is an original, and this is just awesome. Like I would love to have that shirt. Very cool. So yeah, you can, yeah, really cool art. And you can see it's got the Lafayette Street.
And the colors are still so vivid. That's amazing.
I know, it's amazing. So that, $320. So you could be in this t-shirt section and you could find one of these. So definitely look for that. And then this is from a 1984 AIDS dance-a-thon. There's actually, I saw a couple of these. So it was an event in 1994, and they used his art on this shirt, and it, what was it, $350? Yeah. So this is actually a sweatshirt. Okay, so but I saw some t-shirts with the same graphic on it too. So if you ever find one of these, there are so many BOLOs. So, and that's again listed on Depop, $350. Here's the Best Buddies. This is just the Best Buddies patch, and this is $16 on Poshmark. Oddly, this went for, but still for a little patch, you never know where you're gonna find it. If you're gonna.
And I bet if someone finds this, you might find 20 or 30 of them in a lot or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this is something that was mass produced, but still, $16. I'm sure if you get.
Oh, Nate, good question from Heather. Which tag is the original? Could you go back to the?
Oh, what did you want me to?
Of I think the pop tag of the t-shirt versus the UNIQLO one.
Oh, unfortunately, I did delete my
closed already.
Yeah, I closed the window because I have so many windows. But you can tell the difference. The UNIQLO tag, and I might have some more UNIQLO. The UNIQLO tag has the UNIQLO logo on it. It says Spritz New York. A lot of them do, and they also they have it has the UNIQLO logo, which is like the square kind of icon.
And the older ones, I'm sure, single stitch. Like you can use the
single stitch. You can tell by the label on the t-shirt. A lot of them do have like the vintage, like the Gildan and those kind of brands. But here's Burton did it. Burton is a snowboard company. They did a collab. This one went for the snowboard went for $420, which is again pretty affordable, I think. So that's something, you never know what you're going to find. And then Lacoste did a collaboration with Keith Haring.
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah, they're really awesome. So these went for $300 on eBay. And they do go for about that. These were new, but, even if you find them used and you can clean them up, you'll still get a couple $100 for them easily. So,
and like you always say, sneakers are pretty easy to get back into near mint condition.
I love selling sneakers. Yeah. So, and so these are some of the UNIQLO items. You can see some of them do still go for quite. There's a MoMA edition, so you can see. Let's look at the tag on that one. Yeah, so there's the tag on the UNIQLO. See there, you can see that's
and it's the older or the newer style where it's printed right on the inside of the t-shirt. So that's another
that too. That like this one is printed right on the inside of the t-shirt. So I know it's, but there's so many of these from UNIQLO. They did so many cool collaborations, and they did bring back here's the Pop Shop tee from let's see if they did see if they actually put the label in. Some people don't, but hopefully they did. No, of course they didn't. 2 pictures. But they still sold it for $40. So yeah. So but you can tell the difference because it is just printed on. It does say UNIQLO, and it's definitely distinctive. So but these are some of so UNIQLO is a big one. They have so many items, and it was a more recent collab. So you can they're still very plentiful. I would imagine again that the desire for them the demand for them will probably increase over time. But there's so many cool designs, and a lot of them do only go for $25, $30, but still, it's a decent bread and butter item, and there's some really cool items if you want to shop for yourself too. So, yeah. Paddington. I'm trying to see if I can find another label, but
Mookie, can you?
Here's a vintage 80s one. Let's see, we can see. Yeah, so there's the label on that. You can see that's an 80s tag. That's Screen Star.
Right. It's sewn in. It's not on the fabric itself.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a big difference. Yeah. So, and this one, $66.99. This is actually up for sale, but I would imagine they could have even put that up for more, but it does have some stains on it, but still, I think that,
pretty threadbare, but yeah.
But they'll probably get at least 50 for that. So here's one of the examples, and the Forever 21, they do really well in Poshmark, and still really cute, really cool art and everything. So
cool.
They don't go for as much because Forever 21 obviously is less it's a more inferior quality. Their items are kind of fast fashion, but still you can own a Keith Haring piece of fashion for $23. And I would imagine with some of these Forever 21 items too, if you get them, you can find them at the bins or whatever. You can actually do, that's another decent bread and butter. So Coach, I am coveting a Coach Keith Haring bag. Someday I'll have one. And but they do really well in Poshmark. So here's an example. This one, $315. The backpacks go for a lot, $545. They did shoes. They did 11.
Oh, those are so cool.
Yes, the boots, $275.
You could wear heels like that. It's not. I
know. Well, Coach also did a leather jacket too. That goes for like $800.
Those I can wear.
This is Alice and Olivia leather jacket, $649. This sold for. So really awesome though. So if you ever find any of these branded items, Coach, Alice and Olivia, those they really do well on Posh. So, and then this is Adidas. So these go for $140 actually right now on the Adidas website, but I would imagine that they will increase in value. And if you ever do find them secondhand, definitely pick them up. Mm-hmm. Pretty much anything Keith Haring, you're going to want to grab. Reebok did a collab with Keith Haring. These go $399.
Those are I love how distinctive they
are. So cool.
So cool.
Yeah. So these were new with box, but still $399. Even if you find a used pair, they're going to go for quite a bit. And okay, that's the end. So, so you can see that there are a ton of bolos for. Mm-hmm. And he had a very interesting life. If you want to find any if you want to watch some of the documentaries or find anything else, I can pop some of the links in the description. So,
yeah, that'd be cool.
Actually, there was a Pawn Stars episode that had some Keith Haring art. Someone brought in some original Keith Haring art.
Was it Jason?
$1,000. What's that?
Did Jason bring it in on Pawn Stars?
It was not Jason, but yeah. So we're gonna do our market report now, and I'm Lily. You don't have anything for this?
I don't know. I'm taking a little bit of a break. I keep talking about listing, and unfortunately, just haven't really been up for it. So I'll see what happens in the next few weeks. I do have a new treatment plan with my doctor, so hopefully I'll be on the swing soon.
Yeah, and maybe Chris can help you too. That would be
hoping.
So, but anyway, I'm doing a few more because just kind of
cool.
So I'm doing like 4. So this sweater I paid $4.99. I sold it for $44 plus shipping. So it was the second time I sold it actually. First time didn't stick. They didn't pay. So, but this person, they paid right away and it shipped out yesterday. It went to New York City. So it's already there today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Cause I'm right next door to New York City. So my mail gets there within a day. So, so that was, and then this was Anushka is a BOLO brand to look for. They do beautiful purses.
Remember you teaching me about this?
Yeah. So this one went for, I sold this for, how does it zoom out? Anyway, okay. I paid $6.99 and I sold it for $35 plus shipping. So really pretty wallet. And this was a Coach bag that I sold for, I got this again, Shop Goodwill. I won an auction for $9.99. I had some other items, so I didn't, so I kind of absorbed the shipping that way. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. This one I picked up in person. This was a while ago. I
Oh.
forgot. This is one that I picked up in the New Jersey shop in New Jersey at the bin. So I did buy this online, but I picked it up. So $32 plus shipping. You know, it was a decent offer. Coach has gone down in value unless it is something like the Keith Haring bag or, you know, something like that. So
yeah, that's a cute, like I was talking about flannel sort of coming
Yeah.
back season. So I wonder if that's someone thinking ahead too to the fall.
yeah, it is perfect for that
Very
for the
cute.
season. And then okay, that's it. I have those for sale. Okay.
And I do have a couple news articles, as mentioned last week. We are still keeping an eye on what's happening with the USPS, which, you know, is important to us as sellers who rely on the Postal Service for our business, but also, of course, as people who like to vote. So we're worried about, you know, the upcoming election, and so are a lot of other people. So there has been some movement. I know that there has been some pressure on DeJoy, who's the current postmaster general, to answer for some of his actions. And, you know, he did promise to stop removing sorting machines, but there's also been a few articles about how postal workers who are trying to return them into service have found missing parts, or have still had continued issues with that. But I did put a few links already in the description for this video for some recent news articles that came out within the last day or so. So this one I thought was interesting because, you know, this might be a issue that we have as, you know, buyers contacting us with you know, some of these things happening on their shipping updates, tracking updates. So this is from the Washington Post, and it's about how some customers are seeing their items shipping and will be told it's held at the request of the customer, and then actually having to go in person to the post office to try and pick up their packages when they never actually had their mail held.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you have someone messaging you asking what's going on with my package, this could be a good thing to know, that, you know, it probably will be delivered by the post, by your mail carrier the next day. You don't have to go to the post office to pick it up, and it's just the delay. And this is unfortunately the misleading notification that they're using in the system, because there isn't really a system built for nobody's allowed to have overtime, and you're supposed to clock out right at, you know, whenever your shift is over, and that's why people's packages aren't getting delivered on the right day. So I think from a customer service perspective, it's good to know sort of what's happening with the Postal Service, just because people may have questions about it. And then there's a couple articles from CNN also that talk a little bit more about the political side of this. And so DeJoy is expected to answer some more questions about the slowdown on Monday. So, you know, we'll keep an eye on that. And this gets a little bit more into the nitty gritty of the, you know, the political side of how different politicians are putting pressure on DeJoy and the attorneys general in 14 states who sued the administration and the Postal Service.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, you know, moving through the courts right now. And then also that DeJoy was pressured to divest some of his money in Amazon and in his own company that relied on the Postal Service for their own profit. So there was a conflict of interest.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So very interesting. And, you know, I wonder, I have a Poshmark package that is being held at the post office. It's been like for a week now. So my funds are just sitting in limbo.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And I'm wondering if maybe that's, I mean, the person could have gone on vacation or whatever, but I'm wondering if that is what happened there. And I have, just a note, I have had a few packages in the last couple of weeks and my post office is great with scanning usually, that either haven't gotten scanned or have taken forever to move. And I've had to contact my buyers, and I will not send anything else media mail for a while, because I sent some books media mail, and they have taken, it's been a good 3 weeks now, which is crazy. It never takes that long. My buyer has been so nice. he said, he even made a joke. He said, oh, they probably think it's like a bundle of illegal ballots or something, you know? Yeah. So, you know, my buyers have actually been really understanding, thankfully. And I have just, you know, said, you know, we're having, you know, the USPS is having some issues, and I'm really sorry. And the packages have turned up on the grid, you know, they're just going a lot slower. It's been really agonizing, and it's not happening with every package. It's kind of been hit or miss. I'm finding that first class seems to be going slower. Media mail is like, I will not send anything media mail for a while. But I've even had a couple of priority packages that have kind of just been sitting, you know. So eBay is doing something to compensate sellers so that we're not actually getting defects from this right now. So hopefully I think it was supposed to be through August 31st. I don't know if they're continuing it longer, but that's something to look out for. So just as a heads up, I don't know if anyone else is having delays, but I have had some issues. But communicate with your buyers. That's the best advice I have.
Mm-hmm. So. And hopefully most people by now know what's going on and know to expect some delays. And, you know, all since the pandemic's been going on, things have taken a little bit longer just because there's more demand for shipping.
That too, the pandemic. Yeah, we're in it. So I think people are being more understanding, you know, as long as one woman, you know, she messaged me, she was like kind of a little snippy, but as soon as I messaged her back and I was like, I am so sorry. I've had, you know, some things not show with track. I had just sent it the day before and the tracking hadn't shown up yet. And she was like, did you actually send this? I see the tracking number, but you know, and as soon as I said to her, you know, USPS has been having some issues, and I'm sure she was really nice. Her whole tune changed. So and it did show up. Actually later that day, the tracking started to show up, and she was like, oh, you know what? It's no big deal. It's not like I don't have 50 other shirts to wear. And, you know, so
that's nice. That's a good attitude. Yeah. And you know, she may not have meant to be snippy at the beginning. It just kind of came across, you know, you don't always know how your tone comes across in messages like that. So
just communicate. So, I forgot, you know, one thing I forgot to mention about Keith Haring too was another Urban Outfitters did a collab with them too. I forgot to show, I forgot to show some of the solds, but if you search on Poshmark for the Urban Outfitters collabs, some of those can do pretty well too. So that's another thing to look for. So yeah, so lots of great bolos. I hope you guys learned some stuff. And pretty much the rule is if it's Keith Haring, pick it up. Unless it's like really expensive and really trash or not, you know, like if you find a recent Uniqlo shirt that's like got holes and like stains and, you know, and it's like $8 or something, don't buy that. But, you know, in general.
And his are so distinctive. So if you see something that, you know, looks like what you've seen today, you're probably on the right track. And
even the prints, like even the reprints, like some of the posters, there's an Absolute ad, you know, even if you find some of those, there was an Absolute poster that went for quite a bit. So look for, you know, things like that. There's just so many, even the print, the reprinted items go for, you know, they can go for a lot. So yeah, so definitely will make your money and then some, even on the bread and butter items. So.
And do you have a question for us this week, Nay?
Yes. Do you have you didn't bring it up?
I don't think I have it actually, unfortunately.
But
you might have it.
I can bring it up if you, let me just mute myself because the dog's barking and I will bring it up.
While you do that, I will remind everyone that you can find us all over the internet. So if you have any questions about, you know, anything we talked about today or ideas for a future episode, we love ideas. We're always excited. We've got a few great deep dive topics that were suggested by viewers. So, you know, we will actually get to those. And if you have another idea, feel free to send it our way. You can always comment on this video or email us, contact us on Instagram. And you can check out our stores. We're Thrifty Nay and Run Lola Run on Poshmark and Depop. And Nay is Colbray Dazzle or Colbray's Dazzling Finds on eBay. And I am Lo-Fi, which is, we still need to update this, but it's Lo-Fi. Although, as I did mention, I'm sort of taking a break, so there's not a whole ton listed right now. And that's okay. If you have ever found a Keith Haring item while thrifting, we would love to hear about it. So you can always comment on this video and let us know if you're watching this after the fact. And thank you to everyone who is in the chat today. Lots of fun chatter going on, and I really appreciate everyone who hung around when we had to delay this a little bit. So I appreciate everyone who watches live, everyone who tunes in later. And our question for you this week: what Keith Haring items have you thrifted? So let us know in the comments. And we love hearing your stories every week. So it's always great to know what you found, what we can look out for, and just the individual, thrill of the hunt stories are always so fun to read. So we will see you.
Yes, and thank you, Lola. My dog he wants to eat now, so it's time. It's time for dinner, so I have to go feed him. And
we'll see you all.
Thank you, everyone, for working with our delay. And next week again, we'll be back with talking about work from home fashion and what to look for, and that'll be at our regular time, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, next Friday. So,
bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.